So I'm told I'm picking up Don Rickles at his house and taking him to the Greek Theater. That's an outside theater where there are great concerts. And he's opening for none other than Frank Sinatra. I was in awe. I would have paid Don to do this. Only kidding, Don. So I pick Rickles up and I take him to the Greek. As soon as they realize who I'm driving, the waters part, Rob's limo will go right in. Rickles said, "Why don't you come backstage with me? Should be an interesting experience, and if you're backstage and I need something, you're right there." So here we are backstage. Sinatra's just walking around. I was in awe. I was in awe to see the chairman of the board. Now, who walks in backstage but Jack Gilardi, Vice President of ICM, that's International Creative Management of Los Angeles. Jack Gilardi is a client of mine. I've driven him many times, a stand-up, wonderful gentleman, a high-powered agent of many of Hollywood's elite. He sees me and literally says, "Rob, how have you been? Haven't seen you in a long time." Rickles is right here. He said, "You go right to the limo guy? You don't say hello to the stars? Well, you made your money off me, so you go right to the limo guy. What's with this?" Jack says, "Hey, Don, how are you?" He pulls out his hand to me first. "Haven't seen you in a long time, Rob. So you're driving the big stars?" I said, "No bigger than you, Jack." "Ha! I'm not as big as Jack, huh? The agent?" Don goes on and on. They both laugh. Jack turns to Don and says, "How are you, Don? So you know Rob?" Don says, "One of the best. One of the best." Jack was on his way. Well, there's a lull. I thought I had a good rapport with Don, so I started talking to him. I said, "Don, you hear the one about the..." With that, Don says, "What? The limo guy's gonna tell me a joke. I got enough problems with my own jokes. Don't tell me a joke, keep it." So now I'm gonna tell you all what I was gonna tell Don Rickles while he was walking around backstage waiting to open for the chairman of the board. What's the best combination in the world as far as marriage goes? Ethnic-wise. Why, it's a Jew and an Italian. Why, you ask? Because if one can't get it wholesale, the other steals it. You may have heard that, and maybe it's not your thing, but I think it's pretty funny. So I see Rickles' assistant. He's standing over here, and I said, "Listen, you want to go out up front and watch Don do his thing? Because I've seen it a million times. I don't need to see it again. I'm just doing my job." I said, "Okay." So I go out front and watch Rickles do his thing. He's opening for Frank Sinatra. Now, normally, anybody who opens for somebody, they do their shtick and then they leave. I was hoping he wasn't leaving. I knew him and Sinatra were friends, but I didn't know what the gig was. I didn't know what was going on. Thank God he stayed. I go up front and I watched the whole concert in front of the theater. I had a backstage pass. I could have went anywhere I wanted. I wanted to see Sinatra. It was wonderful. He's a little bit older now. He might have made a few mistakes, but so what? It was the best. It was the best concert. I was closer to him than you are to this stage. That was a great story, but it doesn't end there. Jason's Restaurant is a well-known Beverly Hills restaurant. Famous, like the Brown Derby. They serve different kinds of foods. Frank and all the Hollywood greats would go there. So I drive down there after the show. Sinatra's already in. So I said to Don, "How long are you gonna be?" He goes, "You don't know Frank, do you? He's the boss. We stay as long as Frank wants us to stay." Okay? So I got time to go out and get something to eat? Without a doubt. Go out, come back, I'll find you. Now, I don't take advantage of the dinner time. You take advantage of it, you're away from the client, it backfires on you. You got to be on time, on their time. It's tense. So I go back to Chasen's and I see Frank's driver and his limo. I said, "You're driving Sinatra?" He goes, "Yes, sir." I said, "Where should I put my car?" He said, "Put it there." I said, "But you're driving Sinatra. You should put it there. That means your car would be first." Because he knows where I am. You want to try? Should have tried harder. So, Rickles, so Frank and Barbara, his wife, come out. I'm not standing next to my car. Frank knows he has a black driver, not a white driver, but I'm not standing by the car. Frank and Barbara get in the back of my car. So what do I know? Rickles comes out, looks over, says, "Rob, is that my car? What's Frank doing in my car?" I said, "I don't know, maybe going out after the restaurant." He said, "The only place this Jew is going is home to sleep." Oh, okay. A minute later, Don says loud enough for his audience to hear, "Rob, what's that guinea bastard doing in my car?" Frank stirs in the back a little bit, didn't quite hear him. He says it again. "What's that guinea bastard doing in my car?" Frank, with that, Frank pops out of his car and says, "What? This isn't my car? What are we doing in his car?" Seconds later, Rickles gets on his knees and said, "Oh, Frank, I'm sorry to call you a guinea bastard. Oh, Frank, I'm sorry to call you a guinea bastard." Oh my God, so funny. Frank and Barbara kind of stagger and get in their limo. And Rickles says to me, "Quick, let's get out of here." If Frank remembers or thinks he remembers what I said to him, I'm in deep shit. We get in the car, we shoot home to Don's house. On the way there, he says, "Rob, why didn't you tell Frank it wasn't his car to get out of the car?" I said, "What do I know? Maybe you're going out somewhere afterwards." He goes, "Like I told you, the only place I'm going is home." So we pull up to Don's house. Don says, "Rob, I want you to put 20% on the tip for gratuity." I said, "Thank you." I told Don, that was one of the best rides. He says, "Rob, we had a great night. We had a great night. I hope to see you next time." I said, "Good night, Don. See you next time." And to you, good night.